Hello, hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Writers Right. This is episode 4, and today it is all about books. I was going through the suggestion feed, and I saw this one, and it intrigued me a little bit. And to paraphrase, I might get it wrong, but I believe it said, um, let's have a discussion about books and how it impacts our life and how it also affects our writing. So I kind of just want to talk about that. So without further ado, I just want to get up in it and just do some intros. So if you are new here, hello. If you're returning, put it down in the chat. Your name, occupation, if you want to, location, if you want to, and hopes and dreams. Starting with, ta-da!
Hey
Hey,
everybody, I'm Cachet. I am based in Oklahoma. I am a graduate student and an aspiring writer, and I hope to change the world with my words.
Yay. I am the Naked Firefly. I live in Germany right now at this present time, and I am a homeschooling mom, or as I like to give it a fancy title, the Research Associate of Childhood Development and Human Relations. And I'm also an author of The Healer's Love and my hopes and dreams. Right now, at this present time, just to be able to live another day mentally stable, just for 2 seconds at least. So nothing else right now that I can think off the top of my head. I'll do better next time, I promise.
it's okay. It's however you feel. What's up, everybody? My name is Sid. Sid Sapak. Occupation. There we go. I am a full-time student and a part-time worker. Soon, my semester will be over, and I'll be taking a break from school because it's just a lot. Um, my location, I were very proud for right now. I am located in Boston, Massachusetts. I'll keep y'all updated about that because some change might happen, but I ain't trying to jinx myself. But yeah, my hopes and dreams. I want to be like my big sisters. I want to release both of y'all. I want to be like both of y'all. I want to release something on Wattpad. I really do want to release a completed story, whether it's a little short story or something. I want to release something on Wattpad, and then also I would like to publish a book, whether that's through traditional publishing, indie publishing. I want to brain fart. Publish a book. That's what I want to say. I was going to say produce a book. I don't know what I was going to say. I want to publish a book. So, anywho, if you guys don't mind, let's get into the first question. What book has stuck with you since your childhood days? If you have one.
So, like a children's book or a book I read as a child?
Book you read as a child, like something like pre-middle school.
Okay.
So I have one because
So for me, Do You Roll It Thunder, Hear My Cry by Mildred D. Taylor.
I love that book. So okay, right. Y'all see me acting up. I'm sorry. I know it's early to be acting up. I'm gonna act up. So one thing I said was when we did the Black Author 2 tag, I said I don't know Black authors because I couldn't think of them off the top of my head, but I did know books. That was one of the books I read back to back like a few times. And I don't know what it was. It was just probably like the writing style, something I never read before because of what we were reading. I think I read that in in middle school actually. So it wasn't something that we were really reading. My middle school diversified my reading, to be honest, but that was just one of the books I agree with. Yeah, I love that book.
Yeah, I like all the Logan family series. Like I own all of them. I've read all of them multiple times. So
Oh, I don't know about that. If there's more, please let me
Yeah,
know.
there's a sequel called Let the Circle Be Unbroken, and then there's one later that's like a continuation called The Road to Memphis, and all the kids are like teenagers and young adults. And Cassie's in school, like she's trying to go to college. And then there are like smaller little chapter books for that were for younger than those three books about the dad and his brothers and their childhood. So like prequels to Roll of Thunder.
Okay. Thank goodness for this stream because I did not know that, and I want to have looked
Take
that
a
up.
picture of them and send it to you. Like they're in my office.
That sounds great to me. I can't wait to know that because I would like to read it. Like seriously. What about you, Firefly?
Oh, gosh. Okay. I guess Boxcar Children. That one, the Boxcar Children stuck with me. Like I wanted to be those children, have siblings that actually ran away with me. And, you know, we protected each other. We looked out for each other against, you know, adults who might want to try to hurt us. It was just and to live in a boxcar. Be able to do it my way and not worry about anybody else, I guess, telling me what to do.
The Boxcar Children was a good little series. It didn't stick out with me as much as Babysitter Club. Boxcar, one word.
Yeah.
Like a train boxcar.
I'm gonna look this up because that's the one I never.
Yeah, I read that one in the baby.
Like, I couldn't tell you none of the Boxcar Children's name. I can name every Babysitter Club member. Like
not named the Babysitter Club. I read those books, but I cannot remember their name.
No, I owned almost every book in like not only like the regular series, the like Little Sisters series that she did. Then she did these like super books that were like everybody like it was like their summer vacation, and so everybody would have a chapter in the book, and they'd be really thick. Yeah.
I think now that they have them in comic book form right now.
And I'm not reading that, and I'm not watching the show. You're not messing up my childhood. You are not doing that to me.
I love how you're just like, nope, this was my childhood. I read all the books front to back. I do not want this comic book. I do not want this.
Well, like it looks like a manga now.
It does,
it doesn't look like the story. And that might be cool for the new generation, but like for those of us that grew up on it, like that doesn't look right. Like they look like cartoons. They don't look like real people. So then there's that. And
I want to say like even some of the people from that generation, from this generation, really won't read it. Because I remember being in the library and somebody's like, oh, what is this? And they put it right back on the shelf. I was like, okay, well, at least I know I'm not the only one that feels some type of way about this series. I want to say, didn't they have a TV show? I want to say I watched
it. It had movies. I had all the movies.
I watched like a TV show or a movie with it too.
All the movies. It was like what was I gonna say? Like Sweet Valley High. Like that was another series that I loved. Sweet Valley High. Like, yeah, no, I was big. Like, I don't know how many there are now, but I like that when we were kids, there were so many like series to get into, and they were so long, so you didn't really run out of stories to read.
Just gonna get in the comments really quickly. Hello, it's me, full-time grad living in Sweden. Hope all goes well. Among the Hidden. I don't know that. Does anybody know that? Yeah, no, I don't know books. Please, no.
I don't know that book.
What's that? I'm telling you, I'm looking up all these books later. That's awesome. I can't name any kids from the Babysitters Club either, but Eve said that she's bad with names anyway.
What's the book that stuck with you, Sid?
Mine, the one I always go back to because it's like one of my favorites is Bud Not Buddy by Christopher Paul Curtis. Like that one, right? I read that.
I love Bud Not Buddy. Have you listened to the audiobook?
I have not, and I feel like I should.
So Uncle Phil reads it.
No.
Yeah, you gotta go listen to the audiobook. Uncle Phil reads it.
It was Libby, right?
That would be awesome to hear him.
Yeah, it makes it even more nostalgic, like loving the story and then him being gone and getting to go back and hear him read it. Yeah.
That would now I must get that, and I must listen to that.
Right? That's so
Read
cool.
the book. Wow.
Oh no, that's the wrong app. I was on iTunes.
Oh, I remember Animorphs. I read those too.
Yes, Animorphs was one that I the what do we call it? The show creeped me out. Like little when they put out the little the shows, I was like, because the way they would set it up when they're about to like turn into the animals was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Libby by OneDrive? Okay, let me make sure I get the right one. So like, I didn't know that's like, and then the one thing I love the most in the books, like if you did it and you if you flipped through the pages quickly, you saw them change right before your eyes because each page they were changing slowly but surely. That was one of my favorite things, but most of them creeped me out. But yeah, I don't know, just but not buddy. Like I don't remember much of the premise of it. All I remember is the book that I saw. There's like two covers. I believe one is blue and one is gold. But I remember like the gold one. It's like this little suitcase. Like I just see it.
Yeah, that's the one that they use on the audiobook cover. The one I have is the blue cover with the Newbery Award on there. But
yeah. So then when I see the cover, I was like, why is it called Bud Not Buddy? Like, oh, what's up, Bud? Like, no, don't call me Bud. Just call me. I don't know.
To see what cover we have because I know I bought that book for Isaiah some years ago. I don't know which one I bought.
I love it because it's very real because people try to nickname us all the time. Like I really like I never told people to call me Cash. Never once. But they did it. My name is Cache. Like, so I loved that his mom was like, yo, your name is Bud, not Buddy. You are Bud because that is a flower about to bloom. And that's what I seen you. Like, I love that she was like, don't let nobody do that. And at 6 years old, getting it to like his nah.
We're gonna call you Cash because we speaking cash into your existence. There you go.
You know,
right.
Okay.
You want the money to nettle for you. Pesos. Okay. Euros. International money coming your way.
You don't like that? Okay. She don't like that. We're just gonna call her Cash.
No, I'm saying y'all foolish. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not. No. The first time I ever called you Cash, that's what I thought. Like Cash Money Records. Like, oh.
Yeah, okay. So here's the thing. Do you know how unoriginal that is? Everybody thinks that. Like when everybody hears my name, everybody like Cash Money Records taking over the yes, like Cash Money.
You can't do that. You cannot do that.
I wasn't like gonna say it, but I was like, well, you know
Cash Money Records taking over for the 99s and the 2000s.
I was like, we're supposed to hear to speak that existence on her. We're just gonna speak them coins on her. I mean, you got the words, so now we speaking the coins.
I appreciate you. I do. I appreciate you.
We love to see it. Ooh, okay. I'm sorry. What we Animorphs? I love But Not Buddy. Yep.
I want to say R.L. Stine. He took it to was it R.L. Stine? Took it to a whole new level with the
oh yeah, no
animals. I think it was like a werewolf or a werecat type of thing. I can't remember what he did with them.
Yeah, no, definitely R.L. Stine. The Goosebumps books was like my go-to. The movies more than anything. Like I would always go and when my aunt was like, "What you want to get? Let's get a Goosebumps movie." The Mask one, the one that they did so many versions of, scared the mess out of me.
Did y'all see the new ones? I haven't looked at the new ones.
The like movies, the bigger movies that came out in the theaters. I've seen one of them, but it was like, it wasn't the same.
Okay, I was about to say because the ones on TV, I was just like, I don't like this. I don't want to go to sleep. But I like the books.
Also, while we're on this, I have a question. It's been irking my life.
Okay.
I always ask it like in a very passive way, but I feel like we could get into it because we have a little bit of a no filter. And it's kind of early for all of us, so we can talk about it.
It's kind of late for me, but go ahead.
It's kind of early still, just a little. So in middle school, I read what people like to call a classic,
Okay.
and that was Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
And I know we kind of talk about this in different ways, but it's just like, how do you really define a classic and what is a classic? Because for me, I don't know, like
That's actually a good question. Go ahead.
Romeo and Juliet, I wasn't that impressed. I'm gonna be real. It just wasn't really my cup of tea. I don't see what the hype was. And I forget who I was talking to. We was talking about something about how it got hyped up, but when you saw it, it just wasn't what it was. And I gotta remember what it was. But what can you identify as a classic that's something that you should read, that people make you read?
So I don't read or have not read most of the things that most people, majority being white people, think are classics.
Right.
Because my grandmother was very, very pro black. So a lot of stuff that people have read, I've never read. Like, I read Romeo and Juliet. I've read like some Shakespeare stuff. I think I read it in like college, maybe the end of high school. I was not a big fan of it. Like I just was not. Like I just like it to me, I could see how for its time and when it came out and when people were reading it, like, yeah, this is like really good but because our language has changed so much, I don't think like to me having children read something that you have to constantly break down and explain and tell everything like I feel like as writers now they tell us if we have to explain if as authors we have to explain everything to our readers we didn't do a good job, but somehow Shakespeare is great even though you have to be explained what goes on in his stories, what goes on his plays. Like that to me doesn't make sense. And I feel like for most people, you don't become a classic until you die. So it's like they don't respect what you're writing when you write it when it's first published. They don't see it for how great it is till later. So like for me, the classics title is kind of like one of those white supremacist titles given to things that I just don't respect. Me personally.
Mm.
Because like they like it's very hard for someone like in general unless it's a list about black authors for black authors to be included in classics lists. Like in school, I want to say the two closest to which weren't classics, it was because I went to an all black high school where I don't know or why I know why the cage bird sings and the Invisible Man, and that wasn't until my senior year.
Mm.
I'm okay with Shakespeare only because I like theater. Other than that, like I was like, but I like Shakespeare, so I can't sit here and dog it. However, considering something a classic, like she just said, basically a person has to die before it's considered a classic. But when I think of classics, I think of really just anybody before the year, I don't know. It's like because there's a lot of great classics again among everybody's race. There are classics for everybody. Every race considers somebody to be classic, but of course, like she was just saying, when you live in a society where white supremacy is like major, you're kind of forced to believe that Romeo and Juliet and Pride and Prejudice and things like that are classics, but it's like, no, not really. There are books that are a lot better than some of those books. So I honestly just say what I'm doing is just exploring everybody's classics, what they consider to be a classic, just explore and read them, see why they thought it was a classic, and then just keep it moving. But that's what I'm doing with my children because I want them to see all different aspects, not just one. So that's just what I'm doing. I don't know how you consider anybody a classic. I'm hoping that when I die, maybe my books will become a classic. So we'll see what happens. Not no time soon. I can wait till I'm like 80, 90, then we can go. So let's just wait.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I see get thrown around. And there's one book that is considered a classic, and I forget what book it is, but it was the one where like a song originated from the book, and the song was like racist because it used the N word, like with the ER, and people were okay with that, and then it got changed to like I believe monkeys.
Oh. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Cash.
Isn't it like
the No More Monkeys Jumping on
I
the
think it was
Bed?
that one, yeah. I was about to say
Yeah, it was originally a racist song. Also, so was Eeny Meeny Miny Mo.
an ice cream song.
Yeah. Song. So yeah, but those are classics because they stick around, and that
Like I said, it depends on basically who's in charge, and then it becomes a classic. It's what they consider to be a classic. Those who are in power consider it to be a classic. But I think most communities just have to put their foot down and be like, no, I don't consider this to be a classic. I consider this like something from my community to be considered a classic.
So I am 50 books into Penguin's 100 or book classic article. 50 books in, only 3 Black people are named.
Who they got?
Toni Morrison, James Baldwin, and I always say his name wrong. It's Chin.
Oh,
because it's the one. He wrote Black Boy, or no, things fall apart.
That was a very good book. I know you're talking about.
And the other thing is, if you look at the list, all the Black people that are considered wrote in our time, like in the 1950 time frame. Like most of the people in this list, like start back from the 1800s. So it was like there was a time frame when they started to recognize our writing. So yeah, it's a thing.
I feel like we need to go back further, if not for the country. Like,
first of all, if you don't put the miseducation of the Negro or the souls of Black folk as a classic, with what it talks about, with what it deals with how it was written in the early 1900s and still has validity in 2020, you don't understand.
And I also think, like, since, like you just said, like they really start, our literature starts way before then. So I feel like we would, like I said, put our foot down and find our own, research our own, read our own, and don't have to worry about what standards. Like, no, this is a classic. Okay, well, that's what you define as a classic, but this is what I define as a classic. This is our classic.
Right. Good.
I know.
I think it is considered a classic in some, but not everywhere.
I consider it a classic.
I consider it a classic. I definitely consider it a classic.
It's definitely not a child-friendly book, but I consider it a classic. Not a child.
Queer representation before having queer representation was a box that you checked.
Yeah.
I have the question time, right? Speaking of classics, do you think people would consider the 5th season to be a classic in a few years?
It probably won't be a few years. It'll probably be longer than a few years.
I
definitely think that in the future it could be a classic.
Titan, behave yourself.
I think that might be Cleo, because Cleo's been acting up today.
Nah, that's Titan.
Oh, okay.
That's been Titan.
So, but yeah, because that's so. Hi, my name is Hitsapak. I don't like books, but I am reading. Okay, I am reading, and I'm taking my sweet time. And so I always hear all these good things about it, and I'm just like, when you think about how people talk about the 5th season, how they talk about N.K. Jemisin, it's just like, will people consider her to have books that are classics in the future? Especially with the way, and I just found this out because of Cash. She wrote a short story that also won the Hugo Award.
Okay.
So I'm just like, with someone who has that much credentials to back themselves up with, it's just like, will people consider her book that's been written quite well, that people acknowledge to be a classic, or would they be like, nah? So
If no one else do, I think that we should later on. Because I mean, even with Octavia Butler wrote a lot of classic books, but she's just now getting the recognition that she should have gotten years ago. So if nobody else do it, I think it's our responsibility to do it, to recognize it as a classic when it comes time.
No lie, I just looked up like classic book list that you should read. The best book list I found with the most Black authors so far, and it has 50 books, and I'm at 21, and I saw 5 Black authors already, is given by Southern Living magazine, not Penguin, not these places that actually publish books, but by Southern Living magazine. Isn't that crazy?
I feel like, in the way we say we want to change it, because we know how racist traditionally publishing is. Let's just say what it is. And how sexist it can be. So when I see it, how they don't want to take on books from Black... All right. I forget where I was going to go, but the one thing that grinds my gear...
He can say it again. They can't hear.
I just love how the Naked Firefly was just waving. So the one thing that I hate in a traditionally published world, and you see it all the time, and they say it. Oh, I know you're a Black author and you're writing about this, but we're not going to take it because we have a white author who just wrote about it, so we're going to go with that. That's our token Black story. And
they do that with the Black stories and LGBTQ stories. Like, oh, we already got one for the year. Wait a minute.
Right. And it's people who are not from those communities. And I think Cash does it all the time. It's okay to write outside of your own experience, but you shouldn't take away someone's voice. You know what I mean? Like, there are many people out there who are straight and white who write LGBTQ plus books. But then you have someone who is queer and of color, and their book gets dismissed. That's the one thing I like about the traditionally published world is, oh, we'll take this, but we got it from somebody else. Instead of, oh, you actually represent that, let's go with you. So that's the one thing I hate about traditionally publishing. It's kind of annoying. It really grinds my gear, but had to get that off my chest. Little rant of the day.
You're allowed to rant.
Thanks. So then I have question 2. It's a twofer. It's a 2-for-1 special. What genre of books do you connect the most with, and do you write in that genre? I know, that's a big question.
I've never thought about what genre of books do I connect with.
Right.
Because I know for me, I connect the most with fantasy, and here is why. Because growing up, it wasn't just it wasn't the best for me. So when I read fantasy books, it's like an escape,
Mm-hmm.
And I realized I shouldn't do that. Well, I'm still going to do it, but I was watching the show, and I don't know if it's true, so don't quote me, don't attack me. Basically, it took base in like France, and they said that the French people don't believe in happy endings; they believe in reality.
Mm-hmm.
So
they do that in a lot of their movies.
Right. So I was like, so they said that they say Americans often put themselves in a book to escape instead of face reality.
I can agree.
So I know for me, I always enjoyed fantasy. That's the one I connected with because I try to export myself away from the real world, put myself in the book. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be quite honest. For She Who Shall Not Be Named, for all of her books, I was the main character, and I felt like I was saving the day.
Okay. There's
You
nothing wrong
know,
with that.
right? What was it called? The Magic Tree House.
Mm-hmm.
The whole little series where they go on adventure. I was in it. I replaced the two characters. That was me and my brother.
Well, that's good. You had to get to escape. I'm trying to think. So,
Yeah.
what genre do you write in?
I like to think I write in fantasy. But I'm getting some feedback along the way. You know what I mean? I don't think it's really. I think it's fantasy, but I don't think it's the high fantasy that I want. I would like to write in high fantasy where you get to see the world as you read it. You know, you have that 180,000 word book. You know what I mean? Like, I want that, but you know. So yeah.
I guess I connect with more sci-fi books, not the high sci-fi. What is it? The speculative sci-fi? Is that what it's called? Like things that
Speculative fiction.
yeah. So that and maybe classic literature. I don't know, but I don't write in neither one of those. So I do want to try to write in sci-fi and see what that's like. I do want to try.
I think
I can't see myself writing literary only because I know it's not character based.
I'm about to say, yeah, can you explain literary? Because I've seen like people say literary fiction, but I don't really understand what that means.
It's more so like, okay, romance, fine. I write a romance. That's more like we're focusing on the characters, more on the romance or the love between those two. Whereas literary, if I was to write the same characters in the literary, we'd be basically focused more on their journey through life and whether they can find themselves, more based upon the things that are around them than really them per se, how everything, their surroundings affect them, not how they're like. So let's say Ianda, she's a healer. We watch how the things around her are healed or affected by her healing. We wouldn't really focus on who she is and how she feels about being like that. So that's basically literary fiction. I hate my tongue today. That's literary fiction. Like, so it's not character based. It's more like what's the other one? Character based, and is it plot? It's not plot driven. Well, yeah. Yeah. It's, okay, yeah. So then, yeah.
Like that makes sense. I heard this is really plot driven.
Okay, I was like, wait, is this? Yeah. So literary is, to me, I can never see myself writing it, only because it's like I like to focus on my people more. So I don't know. I guess I could try that one day just to try to see.
I mean, hey, experimental month. Like, take a month, you know, or a week. Let's take little chunks, you guys. To people who are out there in a task spacey, daunting. Let's take it a day at a time. You know, you do a day. If you like it, do it to a week, and then for a week you do 4, and then 4 turns into a whole year, and you're just running along with it.
I want to hear Cash's.
I mean, I don't know. So I don't know what I connect the most with. Hold on. He was taking Titan out, that's why I've been on mute. So you know he gets ready to go out.
Yeah, he's very excited. Yeah.
All the noise in the world. I don't write in. So N.K. Jemisin was like my introduction to sci-fi and fantasy, because I don't think I've read anything else that was like that. Yeah, I don't think I've read anything sci-fi fantasy. Everything else, most of the stuff I've read, because a lot of children's Black writing that I read was like historical, because it was set in the past, like historical fiction. But I don't really like to write historical fiction for Black people because Black people in America is really sad, and I don't want to be angry all the time. So it can't be that. I'm trying to think. Like, I really don't know. Like, I know I like thrillers, but I wouldn't necessarily say I connect with them. Does that make sense? Like, I just like them. Like, I love to read John Grisham. I love his like lawyer stemming type books. Like, they stem around lawyers and judges and stuff like that, and I like that. Um, if I had to, I would have to say it would be like Frank Peretti's because I love his because they all deal with like supernatural things and like good and evil. So I don't know if supernatural, I guess, is the genre. But I haven't really written anything supernatural. I don't feel like so. At least not supernatural. Huh?
I was gonna say you wrote a whole ghost. I guess that's not supernatural. That's more
okay. So his supernatural is like angels and demons.
Okay.
So I haven't written anything like that. I do want to. Like, I would love to like emulate him as him being my favorite writer.
What would mermaids be considered?
Huh?
What would the mermaids be considered? Would that be?
And I thought mermaids were more like fantasy because they're not real. But I'm not.
And I think that's where the line starts to get blurred. Right? So one thing I want to say is also, just to put it out there, I'm going to put it out there. I think it's a genre. People can fight me. I don't care. I like the werewolf genre. Like, I connect with that because the one aspect I believe in so heavily is that everyone has a soulmate. So when they put that in the book, that is something I gravitate towards. And I'm like, yes. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe because I'm a Pisces, but I believe we have soulmates. Like, I believe you do have your forever person. So that's what it starts to blur between what is supernatural and what is fantasy. Because I feel like they do cross over most of the time.
And like the definition, I remember looking up the definition between the differences between paranormal and supernatural, and it's such a thin line. It's such a thin line.
Right. And I think the only way you can really what's it called? Diversify them or know what category belongs where is if you write it yourself, where you want to put it for yourself. Because any way you market it, it can fit any way.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. I don't know. Sometimes I ramble.
So I can see what you're saying. So like Penelope's Curve could have been a supernatural horror. Because
you have like
but then could it also be like a contemporary because it is set in now? Like a contemporary supernatural horror. See, like, and I feel like that's how people get those like orange ribbons on Amazon. They're like, well, it's technically a contemporary and it's supernatural because it's a ghost and it's a horror. So I'm number one in that category now. I'm just
right. Make your own and build it. Like, the best way I can define it is what is the difference between young adult and new adult? When you look at it, certain places have a set age, but then sometimes they merge and blur together. And it's like, you as an author, how do you define it for yourself? So
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
So yeah. What we got? I generally find myself towards sci-fi and fantasy, but really anything with strong characters. I don't write in that genre yet, but I'm dabbling in this November. What are you working on for Nano? Nicole says fantasy and paranormal. All right. So yeah, at first I didn't know what paranormal was. I didn't think that was something. And then I started hearing in the authorship community, like people putting stuff together that I thought was separate. So I started hearing paranormal romance. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought romance was his own little character, was his own little genre, like his own little, like, you don't mess with romance. If you do romance, then you have like a subtitle. You don't put like major titles together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or someone's like, oh yeah, I have like a fantasy horror story. You have a what?
But that's the thing. But that's back to that getting it. Look, because at the bottom of it, it's a romance. Right. It's only paranormal because you have creatures that don't exist in our world. So that's why you put that other on there.
The only one that thought the first time I heard paranormal was like ghosts.
I thought like
That's what I
paranormal
thought.
was some
I thought
creepy
it was
demon stuff.
like ghosts, werewolves, vampires.
Okay.
I thought it was that. Because to me, when I think supernatural, I think gods, demons, angels.
Okay, so I'm not the only one because I'm sitting there like, am I confused? I thought
No.
that's
Right, and I'm like, why, like the way, like just like that, like why would you put paranormal with the romance? Like that's like something that wouldn't mix. But then when you figure out what it is, ooh, that was kind of a little bit of a voice crack. Like it's just like, oh, okay. Because most of the time, right, it's one of those like don't judge a book by its cover. I'm judging the genre of people's book, like how, like
Yeah, I honestly think it's so that people can like, because I feel like it's the only way for people to get people to read their books. So like, if you don't read romance and someone just tells you it's a romance because that's what the heart of the story is, you probably won't read it.
right.
But then you say black romance, I'm gonna be more inclined to read it. You say paranormal romance, someone who likes ghosts and werewolves and vampires, oh, I might be more inclined to read this book. So I think it's something that kind of started to like help people like identify stuff to read.
Like,
But I definitely don't. I definitely feel like it was confusing when I first like started to hear these terms because
right.
they're not necessarily terms you see in bookstores. You really don't hear them as much until you get into writing or reading specific genres. Because like when you go in a bookstore, I've never seen a paranormal romance section.
Nope.
No, they got it all in the romance section.
Right.
You have to search
Right.
for what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah. This might sound bad, maybe because I'm a little bit old school, but I do believe in those bigger categories. Because, like, if I go to the bookstore, like you're saying, like, I hate to say it, but if I do go to Barnes and Nobles, I don't really like them at the moment. I'm like supernatural, fantasy.
And honestly, I think the last word is the one that is what the story is because everything else is describing the story.
Mm.
That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
It does.
That's just my thought. It could be wrong, but
I think you're right.
Right, because it does make sense when you think about it.
Like, I really think you're right. I think that's why they do it. Like, the first part is just to tell people, hey, if this is your cup of tea, fantasy, paranormal, whatnot, this is what it is. But this is the section that it's supposed to go in. This is what it is. This is a paranormal fantasy. This is a paranormal romance. Like, yeah, I think that's very much right.
Oh, also, right, while we're on this topic, can you guys believe I hated sci-fi?
I could see that because I mean I didn't like sci-fi at first either.
I thought it was like so cliche the way people were doing it. I think I saw more TV, huh?
I felt the same way because of TV. Because TV sci-fi, I don't really like TV.
Right. So when you was like, oh yeah, N.K. Jemisin sci-fi, I'm like, oh, okay.
I didn't know it was sci-fi when I, other than the fact that she won the award, and I didn't care that it was sci-fi because she won the award. So I was like, I'm gonna just read it because she did it. Like, ain't nobody else did it, so it got to be good. And then I was like, this is a thing. Like, more people write stuff like this. And then like I started looking it up, and then that's how I found out about Octavia Butler. And then I was like amazed because I was like, yo, this is not somebody that we get told about.
Right.
Like, and this woman wrote amazing books. Like, there's one of her books that she pulled out in print that if you could find is worth a lot of freaking money.
Right. About the first time I read Octavia Butler, I didn't know it was sci-fi. So I was kind of like, I just read the blurb, and then I was just like, oh, let's just read the book. And then I read it. And then I was looking for some more books, and I saw that her books are under sci-fi. I was like, I read sci-fi. I was like,
right. So from what I've read of Kindred, in today's standards, Kindred wouldn't be sci-fi. Kindred would be more paranormal.
Yeah, it would be. But at the time,
because our categories were so stagnant, right?
Yep.
All right. And then another off-topic question: do you think we'll get like another new genre, like something that we haven't heard of. Like we're gonna get a new one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Especially as more Black and Indigenous people of color write, I feel like there are going to be more genres specifically for us. Like, I mean, like even I know, like when we talk, we have our own genres of our books. Like, you know, we categorize them as these different types of things. And I do think as we push the envelope of what we're allowed to publish, what we're allowed to put out into the world, type of thing, that it's going to change. Because I mean, like everything will change stuff.
Mhm.
Like rap and hip hop was not a category, and haha, neo soul is a category.
Oh, okay.
But,
And usually they trickle down because, like, even rap and hip hop, they trickle down from funk and disco and all that other stuff. So it trickled. So yeah, there's gonna be something else.
I love neo soul with a passion. Like I thought I liked R&B. I'm like, yeah, I like the
I thought I
R&B.
liked R&B. I found neo soul and was like, "Ooh, I just got my
Who
whole."
not heard neo soul? Now I must sit down and listen to some.
You have heard neo soul.
You know.
Who?
So
Jill
music
Scott, Erica Badu, D'Angelo,
Badu, yeah.
Maxwell.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all neo soul right there. Yeah, they
You
but
heard
you
it,
thought they were R&B, but
right, I did.
right?
Okay.
Because at the time they were R&B because it's the only category we had for it.
Gotcha.
And then they classified neo soul, and I feel like we need more. I feel like more artists could be like neo soul artists if they went and did some more research. Because I'm like, just bring it back a little bit more. Like the original creators, they're kind of like stopping their music. Someone come back. So yeah.
Okay.
And then we kind of talked about this, like which author has an impact on your life? Like,
For me, as we're talking about as a child or as an adult.
both your whole entire life.
Okay, so as a child, it would definitely have to be Mildred D. Taylor again, because as a kid, it didn't matter how big the books were. It was the fact that she had written that many books, and that she had won the Coretta Scott King Award and the Newbery Award, and so it was like, and her books won awards, and they made you think, and that like I remember I have a nickname that me and my best friend came up with when I was like in 8th grade, so I was like 12, right? And the last name is based off the characters. Like the last name is Logan because of how much I like loved the characters and the world that she built, even with how, because the material was hard. Like it was not like easy stuff because of the time period that it was set. But so for that, her for sure. Outside of that, it would definitely have to be so I'm slighted or crossed between N.K. Jemisin and Frank Peretti because I do feel like N.K. Jemisin sparked the desire to start writing again, like seriously. Not like I ever stopped writing, but like let me actually work on a book. Let me actually get my story out there, type of stuff. And then for Frank Peretti, it was just like, this dude made a metaphor last for an entire novel. I was floored. And as a poet, metaphors are my thing. So like when I got to the point, like I was like, this is a novelist who can make a metaphor last. Like, yeah, that got something in me. So that would be my answer. Sorry, it was long.
No, okay. Here at Writers Right, we love to hear everybody talk. This is my learning session. This is where I get to learn the most. So yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, as an adult, everybody knows it's Toni Morrison, but I'm trying to think childhood author.
You can think, answer no problem with it. Like, you don't have to answer right away. Like, for me, I'm still thinking because I'm kind of mad at myself. Like I said, I don't know authors. All I know is like the books. And I feel bad when I don't go back and learn the author's name because there's so many books that helped me. Like, when I was a little kid, straight up, as a kid, it was Judy Blume. Okay. Because I would not read jack squat. The only thing I would read was Junie B. Jones. That's all I would read.
My sister was the same way. Like, she did not read anything but Junie B. Jones, and that was what we collected for her.
Yeah. So then it's like when I got to middle school, like in middle school, I don't want to say it was like a culture shock, but it was just like, oh my goodness, there are Black authors. Like I'd never seen it. You know what I mean? So the only thing that I knew was like they was just throwing books at us. And then, so I just never really stuck with the author's name because I was like, oh, okay, I got to read this book for school, whatever. But then there were certain books, you know. I think I gotta give it to Christopher Paul because, like I said, Bud Not Buddy is one of those I haven't picked up since 5th grade, but it still sticks with me.
A childhood author, the person who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Who was that? What
Roald Dahl.
Yeah. Okay, so if I had to pick a childhood one, it would be him. Only because I liked the books and I was just like Matilda and the rest of them, and I was just like,
yeah,
I want my stuff to be crazy when people read it.
I realized those were books till I was like a late teenager, and then I read them.
Like I read them as a kid, so I was just sitting there like, oh, I want my people to be crazy when people read them. Like, I don't know, I just like Matilda floating things and going to a factory where like full of chocolate, and I love chocolate. And I was just like, ooh, if I could own a chocolate factory, that would be awesome. And so yeah, it was just one of those. But as an adult, from middle school up until adulthood, it has been Toni Morrison. But as a child, it was that dude, whoever, Dahl, is that his last name? Dahl.
Oh yeah. Going back to it, right? So when we talk about classics, I thought of like, I don't know if I never read the book, but the book was read to me because I was in 3rd grade, I believe. But I did watch the movie, and I think the movie is sort of a classic, and I feel like if people don't know it, I look at them sideways. Holes.
I never seen the movie.
I've seen the movie and read the book, and they were both great. And it was one of the only movies I've seen that stuck so well to the movie. Like they almost didn't change anything, and that's what I like.
Right, I love it so much. I think the cast. There we go. I'm like feeling. They really brought that to life. The way that they handle that. Even underneath all the circumstances, I was just like, you could feel it. You could feel everything. I wanted some sploosh. You're like, what the hell is that? No,
I was about to ask.
It was basically.
Why did you want some sploosh for your shoes?
Like I got like my face. As long as my face said what I was thinking, like.
Well, first I wanted zero sploosh where he was eating it underneath the boat, but then I didn't want the sploosh for the feet because I was one of those kids who ran wild with no.
Now I must go read this book and see what you're talking about.
It's sploosh is like one of those things. Like so, a few like takeaways. There's sploosh. There's like the mountain. Excuse me.
It's called God's Thumb, sir.
Sorry.
Now I must go read it. I've never read the book before.
No, it's a whole thing. Like it is one of the movies that I definitely go back and watch. Like I've definitely seen that multiple times as an adult. Like even though it came out when I was a kid. Like
so it's good to read to the kid.
Oh yeah, no, it's really good. It is really, really good.
There was Mary Lou. I just remember so much things.
Yeah, Mariolo. What's Mariolo? What? Mariolo.
No, you see with the vowels it's putting down. I don't get it. It's all right.
It was the first. It introduced me to my Annabelle Lee. That by Edgar Allan Poe.
Okay.
Because they quote the poem like throughout the story, like between two of the characters.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it should have known. So right, till this day, I am scared of Madame Zeroni.
Yeah, that movie definitely told me that if you were going to make a deal with witch doctor, conjure woman, anything like that, you better hold up your end of the bargain.
Yeah.
Now I have no idea what you're talking about there.
And I'm also going to say, like, if only the woodpecker side, the bark on the tree.
Which movie was that? I must have y'all tell me which movie that is.
Holes. I'm telling you, it's called Holes.
It's just Holes. That's just it.
Holes by Louis Sacker. I'll put it in the private chat.
in to anyone who has Netflix, I believe it's still out there on Netflix. It's one of those movies. It's there's so much that happens and it's so teachable. You know, there's like there's something that happens like that. It's just like what it's known for, and then at the very end, something happens that brings it back to life. It's like a full story. It's I don't know. Because I don't want to spoil nothing, but it's not really.
Yeah, please don't spoil nothing because now I got to get it and read it to the kids.
But yeah, there's like so many teachable moments. There's so many quotable moments. I just feel like it's one of those that like it one of those things. It really teaches you a whole life lesson, and it's something that sticks with you forever. So yeah.
I'm tired of digging all day. Well, that's too goddamn bad.
Well, excuse me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I ain't gonna lie, that's all the questions that I had. But one I just thought of, if you guys want to answer, what book were you happy to see turned into a movie, or you hated being seen turned into a movie, or what book would you like to be seen turned into a movie?
So the new Fahrenheit 451 with Michael B. Jordan. As much as I love Michael B. Jordan, I was so mad at that movie.
It wasn't worth seeing because I
did
thought
y'all
about
even
looking at
read
it.
the book? Did y'all even read the book? What did y'all do? What? Who told you to write?
Right.
Yeah, no, I was definitely upset with how they redid it. Like horrified. Like we read the book. No, we started watching the movie. You know, we were reading the book, started watching the movie, kept watching it like maybe it'll get better. It was awful. We finished the book, went back to watch the movie like maybe it was something in there that nope. Came to the same conclusion and was mad we wasted 2 times worth of watching that movie. So yeah, no. And I love me some Michael B. Jordan.
I'm trying to think what movie and book.
But I will be excited to see any of N.K. Jemisin's books become TVs or shows or movies, and all of them have rights to, so they're all in production for it. So I can't wait to see it though.
I want to say The Color Purple, the way that they did. I know that movie came out years ago, but the way that they did it compared to what was actually in the book, it was actually pretty tasteful. I feel like there was some things missing, but I know that they were trying to keep it.
It was already a bad movie. It was
right. So I know they were trying not to.
No, I would say that. I agree with you on that one. Like, I think, because they did the movie so well, I was allowed to read the book. And then I read the book and I was like, this ain't the same thing. No. This is not the same thing.
Take it off. I'm trying to think of a movie I did not like see turn into a movie. A book.
I haven't seen 50 Shades of Grey, but the fact that the characters don't look like what they're described in the book really, really upset me, and that's part of the reason why I never went to
see. I seen the first movie. I was not impressed by it. I actually didn't even watch it. Like, it was on in the back, like when I watched the beginning. So I guess you could say I haven't watched it.
No lie, I have not seen it, and I sat through 50 Shades of Black. Exactly.
Like, okay, I didn't watch the movie. Let's just say I tried to watch the beginning. The beginning didn't catch me, and I was just, I went to go do something else. So it just played in the background. So I guess you could say I really haven't watched the movie. Yeah, Les Miserables, I feel like, well, see, that's a big book. That's a thick book. The movie that they did do for it it did it justice, but at the same time, it's just like you couldn't get no thick doggone book into that movie. Like, that would have been like a 3-hour movie if they did it like that.
Ooh, I know another one.
What?
I hated Jim Carrey's A Series of Unfortunate Events, and I loved Netflix's version. I was so mad watching Jim Carrey's, so mad. And then I was like, okay, Netflix will do this right, and Netflix didn't let me down.
Yeah, the kids looked at the Jim Carrey one. They're like, "Can we watch this?" I was like, Auntie Cash said no. They were like, "Why?" It's like, no, love. We're not gonna hurt ourselves. We are gonna go get the books and read them, but yeah. So, what movie was bad? I'd like to know what movie was bad.
Are you talking about the series of unfortunate movies, Sue? Because if that, like, I'm right there with you.
I can't think of what movie I've seen that was.
I was on mute. Hi. I'm like, let me get back to the chat. I'm like, what y'all talking about? Hello. I ain't gonna try to pronounce that. Even though y'all said
it.
Yep, that one. The movie was bad.
That's what we're talking about. Like, what movie was she talking about?
What movie? Let me know. So yeah.
And what book would you like to see as a movie? All
right. Okay. Right. Okay. I got to be real. I got to get this off my chest. I'm so sorry to anyone who's watching this. Please know I am being 100% serious. I would like to see The Healer's Love as a book because what I can imagine, I'm being so serious. I want to see what I've been imagining. Let's turn that into a book. I mean, a book.
For those who are listening, he means that he wants to see The Healer's Love turned into a movie. It came out on July 22nd, 2020. It is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. But continue, sir.
And it is also available, if you look at the link in the description, at KiraLrose.wixsite.com/KiraLrose. Yeah, there. Go get your copy. I can just imagine it. And then, right? And I've been getting into them, even though I kind of hate them. I've been getting into like limited series.
Mm-hmm.
If I could get a short story collection of this Penelope's Curve, like on Netflix, like I think Netflix.
I would like to see that as a movie or like a TV series,
right? Like when you read people's work and you can my thing is if I can see it, I want to see it in real life, and I get so mad when I don't see it in real life. I don't know if anyone else like that. Like I'm like, yo, if I see it in my brain, I need to see it on screen. Because what I'm seeing, I want to make sure we're seeing the same thing.
Right.
That's how I felt after reading the Broken Earth trilogy. Like I was like, yo, I want to watch this. Like I want to sit through at least 3 seasons of this show and get all of this.
Right. So I'm one of those people.
I want to say the one that I would be interested in, and I believe that are they still making it into a movie? Children of Blood and Bone?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I would like to see that. I'm actually interested to see how they're going to do that one. I hope they don't disappoint. I really, really
I do. I hope they don't disappoint. I hope they don't change stuff up. I feel like they are, because have you finished book 2 yet or no?
Not yet. We're almost done. We're near the end. We got 3 more chapters.
Okay, so you're okay. So the chapter where both the girls you know what I'm talking about? Okay. I feel like they're gonna make that pervasive thing in the show, and that's gonna bother me.
Yeah, they're going to do it. Of course they are.
Because it already bothered me that it was in the book because it didn't make any sense to me for what was going on, and it wasn't necessary. So I'm gonna feel some type of way because of how they make teenagers nowadays.
Yeah. There's some parts in the book that the kids don't know. So I know when they go back and they read it themselves when they're older, they're gonna be like, "Ma, you didn't read this." It's just some things you were not ready for.
I'm really okay. So on this note, I know you haven't read it, sis, so we're not gonna go deep into it. But are you seeing why so many people said they didn't like book 2?
I am.
Okay, because I'm feeling that way, and I'm only 70-something%, and I'm like, no, y'all ain't gonna make me not like her book. I want to like it, but I'm like, yo, sis, what was you doing?
Yeah. Isaiah loves fantasy. He is not liking the second one. He voiced it the other day. He's like, the first one was so much better. Why was this one even?
I feel the same way.
And I was like, let's just finish. Let's see what's happening. He's like, we're almost done with it. What else is going to happen?
And I keep reminding myself, you're not a reader right now. Be a writer. as a writer, you know the second book has to sag because you have to bring it home in the third book. So like I have to remind myself as a reader, I'm like, no, they all need to hit hard. But no.
Yeah. So I said, well, there's a third one coming out. He's like, are you gonna waste your money on that? I said, boy, go to sleep. Just go. Like, I was like, this is bedtime reading. Yeah, Les Mis, the play was a lot better. I liked the movie only because you actually got to see Paris, but the singers were terrible. But the play was a lot better.
Ooh, we got another copy of The Hill is Love coming.
Yeah, it's somewhere else. It's coming. Somewhere.
So I don't know. I didn't really read a lot of books, like I said, so I'm gonna put that out there. Like I ain't gonna front. The books that I like to see. What book did you like to see turn into? Well, the one book that was 7 books that was turned into 8 movies was by She Who Shall Not Be Named, and I think the cast, once again, I like the movies because the cast, like they brought that movie out. My one complaint, and this is to David, The Goblet of Fire should have been 2 movies because it was too smushed together from one movie. Like there was so much missing, and I feel like when you have like a big book, you need a part 1 and a part 2. Like you need to air it out. You can't just force it in like an hour and a half.
That's why it always surprises me when Stephen King books become just one movie because his books are thick. Like I only have 5, and I want to say they take up 2 shelves on their own because of how thick they are.
At the bookstore.
That's why I actually liked when they did the new It, because the original It was just one movie, and then they did the new It with making it 2 movies. I actually liked that. I felt like it made more sense.
So I read It. Is it anything like the book? The movie, anything like the book?
So I've started reading the book. And so far it seems like it is, but I haven't read all of it, so I wouldn't be able to tell you for sure. I know I also started reading Dreamcatcher, and it does a good job of like painting the picture that Dreamcatcher paints in the movie. But again, I haven't finished either one because again, his books are super freaking massive.
They are.
Like it takes some time.
Because I wonder if he has a clause whenever they do a movie, because I noticed that a lot of his books, the movies that they make, kind of relate. Like the old Pet Cemetery definitely goes with the book, not so much the new one, but the old one it does. Cujo does. What's the other one? The one where they go stay in a hotel and he almost kills his family. What is that one?
Oh dang! I know what you're talking about. Dang. It's with Jack Nicholson. With the sun and the red rum.
Misery. There it is. No, Misery is something else. What was it called? Oh, now I gotta look it up.
Because you're talking about where they're like in there and he's a writer, right?
Yeah. Nothing.
And he's like typing, and it's him, his wife, and The Shining. Him, his wife, and their son. Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, The Shining. Okay, so now I like The Shining, and I like the movie for Shining. And then I did see Misery. I feel like I liked the book better than I liked the movie. I felt like the woman was creepy, but I know in the book she was creepy too. It's just like seeing that in real life is like, I fear now for my life as a writer. I fear that I don't like this. So Sid left us. Sid, don't leave us.
Don't do this.
I do think he has a clause because I think in the older ones, I think he was listed as more than just the writer.
Okay.
Especially because like even with the show Castle Rock, like he has like another role outside of like it being based off of characters from his works.
Yeah, I think it's awesome when they have a clause because then they get to say no.
Yeah, so that would definitely be me. Like I'm not giving right. Like no, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't have. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not.
I don't want you to make I think when I write, I make people certain ways for specific reasons. And if you change that, you change the story.
Yeah.
And they do that a lot because they want to check boxes and make things that like,
It doesn't go with the book originally. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, because I know some people like to sprint. So I know Autumn. I just checked. She's doing a live stream right now, and then Grape Fry is going live in 5 minutes. So I just want to give a little shout out so you guys can go sprint if you guys want to. Um, so yeah, I was listening. I didn't abandon you guys. Um, One book that I did not like being seen turned into a movie is Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. I like the Percy Jackson series. I love it. It's a good series. But the Sea of Monsters, that movie, I felt like they rushed it. It was nowhere with the book. I was heated.
Mm.
So I might have to get Disney Plus for this. So Disney, so I have a back scratcher if anyone sees it. But Disney better do a good job when they make the adaptation.
Oh, they're doing another one?
Yeah, so Disney has the rights for it now, and I think they're doing movies question mark or a TV show. I think it's movies. I'm not sure. So yeah, but some things should be left alone if you can't do it right.
That's how I feel about about like them redoing the classic Disney animation movies into live action. Like I feel like could you just go back and redo the movies that we didn't have the technology to do very well and we do now and redo those instead of redoing these classics that there was nothing wrong with? Like
I want a 100% complete redo with the Princess and the Frog.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that one.
If she turns into a frog, make it for 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes?
Yes.
I feel like there are just so many other African stories about Black princesses that you could have done besides that one and turned into.
There are a lot of them. They could have done like a Rain Queen if they wanted to do it or something like that along that line.
Right, because it's not even a traditionally African story. Like, so it has nothing to do with us. It was, again, checking a box.
Right. But I do want a beignet.
Don't say that because then I'm gonna want one.
I love me some Nolans.
God, don't say that because then I'm gonna go down there and be sitting there making beignets, and those take forever to make. Don't sit there and do that to me.
You share the recipe with me, and I'm gonna make some. I ain't got no powdered sugar.
I will take a picture of it and send it to you. But them things take a minute, so that's why I was sitting there like, don't say that because I'll go down there and I'll start making them.
Ooh, also right. Hack alert. So I don't know if anyone here has been to Disney World, Disneyland. I don't know whichever one it is, but you know how Disney is known for their churros? Not the churros, right? Yeah, the churros. Allegedly, all it is fried pasta tossed in cinnamon sugar.
I hope you lying.
Or is that Taco Bell?
I hope you lying.
No, Taco Bell cinnamon twist. Sorry, my bad. Taco Bell cinnamon twist.
I still hope you lying.
No,
I'm really trying to figure out how you got Disneyland and Taco Bell mixed up.
I'm sad like this.
Because I certainly was sitting over here like, wait, I don't remember them serving them.
My bad.
But
Disney, if you're watching it, I deeply apologize. I am so sorry.
Because I was confused. I was like, wait, did I buy one? Wait, I don't remember them even serving those there. But wait a minute.
But since I did mention your name, if you want to give me an all-access pass to one of your theme parks, I will appreciate it. But
you know what? Oh my gosh.
First of all, they already losing money right now.
That's right.
They're not giving nobody free nothing. They need all the money they can get at their store.
All right. Side note, I wanted to be on Disney Channel growing up because I knew every single Disney character could go to Disney for free.
I wanted to be on a Disney Channel because I knew your family got on. So if you got on, your siblings got on. So I was like, my whole family gonna be rich. That's the only reason.
Right?
I wanted to be on Disney Channel just because I thought I was cute. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I was like, I'm just as cute as those kids up there. I want to get up there. That's the only reason why. Don't do that to me. Y'all had y'all reasons. I had mine.
This conceited moment was brought to you by the Naked Firefly, whose debut novel, The Healer's Love, came out July 22nd, 2020.
Y'all had y'all reasons. At
read
the age that I was at, I had mine. And I was like, I could be cuter in that role. That's all I said. It's like, I'm cuter in that role. I don't even know why she got it. I could have got that role. That's all I said.
You sound like a hater.
Okay, in my younger days,
okay, Raven, I could do that so much better than you. It's the future. I can see.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. It's fine. I have changed. Life is not like that anymore. I mean, I still think I'm cute. I just don't sit there and look at TV and just be like, "Ooh, I could have done that role so much better." I'm like, "Ooh, she did that really good." I know I couldn't do it now. Because they get up early in the morning to do those things. I'm good. I need all 8 hours. And y'all know I don't like to go to bed early. Stop looking at me like that. Both of y'all, stop that. You know what, Black people. Avatar mode.
She started turning red. She did not like that.
Nope.
She did not like that at all. I mean, you said we just, we let you. We let you.
I do. I really do. So yeah. All right. So let's get it. What's happening? How are you? I'm good. We're just talking about some books. That's all we've been doing. I'm all talked out. So,
do you have a favorite book that became a movie, or a book that became a movie that you thought was awful? Shutter Island.
Loved it. Yes.
I have not read it, but I want to read it.
Which one?
No, I have it. I just haven't finished it. Shutter Island. I thought the movie was great, but the movie did have me like, so was he crazy or was he not crazy? So, but I heard if you read the book definitely lets you know by the end of it, like you're not guessing.
Now I must go read the book. I didn't even know there was a book. I honestly didn't. Now I must go read it.
Yeah, it's like a tie for my first favorite. What's that boy name? Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Is he even still alive?
wow.
You haven't seen him.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's not that old.
Right.
It felt like he was because he was a lot older.
He is not that old.
A lot older than me.
Denzel is older than him. Samuel Jackson is older than him.
I know they're much older. They were like grown people.
Cicely Tyson is older than him.
Was almost grown when I was watching him on movies and TVs. He was.
He was young in Titanic.
He was still grown than me. I was like a kid. I was like 12. When Titanic,
I was 12 when Titanic came out.
No, we got to look it up. Wait.
Yeah, we're gonna look it up. He was born in 1974. So yeah, he's like 10 years older than you.
Right.
No, I was 7 when it came out. Yeah.
I wasn't even born yet.
I was like,
I just remember that it came out on VHS and it took 2 VHS tapes.
Okay, right? Okay. Story time, like quick story time, and then like we're gonna wrap up. So when I was with my ex-girlfriend, we was just chilling. She wanted to watch something on Netflix. I was like, sure, let's like watch Family Guy. She's like, no, let's watch Titanic. So then she puts in the DVD. She put in the first one, right? And it's over. I'm done. I'm like, yay. She goes, no, that was only part 1. I said, there's a part 2. I was so upset. So
here's my Titanic story. I thought because we weren't allowed to watch it that it had to be a really good movie. And so I snuck to watch it and was sorely disappointed that the number one reason we couldn't watch it is because she got naked. Not because anything else in the movie, but that was why we couldn't watch it. And yeah, I thought it was going to be some really good movie. No, I was sorely upset with it. And I like everybody I know talked about it. And then I had to remember who at the time I was going to school with, and they loved the movie. And as I got older, nobody I knew had ever seen it. But with the people I went to school with in elementary school, all the girls loved it.
Okay, so I like Titanic, and not because it was a good movie, but because at that time I did have a little crush on Leonardo DiCaprio. And I was one of those people that was like, can't you just push her off the door and get yourself up there? We ain't got to save Rose. Save yourself. Why are we saving her?
Like, and she wasn't going to tell the whole story. What? Okay, anywho.
I was that person. So I will admit that I was that little 12-year-old girl that was sitting there like, oh my God, he's so cute. Why did he have to die? Like, I was that person. And I was like, we could have just pushed her off the door. I was part of the Push Rose Off the Door fan club. Yes, I was part of that.
So, I don't know if you guys remember at the beginning of the stream, I said something about like, I thought something was overrated, but I couldn't remember what it was. It was Titanic. I forget what I said in the beginning, but what I was talking about
terrible movie
on the street.
It was a terrible movie because now I watch it as an adult. I'm like, this was a stupid movie.
Because when I saw it, I'm like, is this what people like you said, people were hyping it up, talking about it. So when I was forced to watch it, I just did not like it. Like I don't.
It was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Watching it now as an adult, it was terrible. I was like, why did I like this? I was 12. Just
not a fan. I'm not a fan.
I was 12, but no, it's a terrible movie.
So yeah. That concludes Writer's Right for episode 4. I know it was short. I deeply apologize, but it was something to give y'all a little bit of a taste while we came back. I think I'll be here next week. I'm not sure. The network is kind of fickle with me. They kind of like me. They kind of don't. They're saying, Sid, you're doing good, but we don't like what you're doing sometimes. So it depends on what the network's.
What? I'm over here reading Suey's.
I was so confused. Like I was reading Suey's comment, and then I was like, "What is he talking about? Network? Wait a minute! Somebody said they didn't like what he was doing. He didn't tell us this. I was so confused.
Right? I was over here reading Suey's comments, and then all of a sudden he was talking. I was like, "What is he talking about?"
Right. So this is we're still on season 1. This is episode 4. YouTube said that they like it, but they don't really like it.
So. I heard what you said. That's why I looked back. I was like, "Wait, what?" I heard exactly what you said. That would have made me stop reading the comments. Like,
oh, yeah, sorry. Let me pull up. Let me pull up all these comments.
It's the way she said longest movies. ...
Right, but so without further, I'm a hot mess.
I'm with you right now.
So I can't have my moment.
Now. No, you're fine. It's your channel. I love you, Sid. I love you. Oh my God, both of you. Fine.
Y'all both was a lot for me in that moment. I was like, what are they doing?
It's your. I love you.
I thought you was frozen now. I was like, ooh, and you frozen now? That's what you did.
All right, okay. Just one last thing before we actually do outros. I promise. Just one last thing. One last thing. It's the last thing. I promise. So what people don't know, right? Here, I made this after I saw a live stream, and this is when I heard Miss Cachet Warren Shay with the hobby said, "I ain't got no tea, but if I did, it would be hot." Right? So it says Cachet presents, "I ain't got no tea, but if I did, it would be hot." You guys see some fans. I have fans there. Because that is when the Naked Firefly took out her fan and she just started fanning. I was like, oh, we got to add that. It's like something funny. So yeah, that's it. So who would like to start outros so we can wrap this up?
Hey everybody, I'm Cachet. I write short stories, poetry, and the occasional blog post. It was so dope getting to be here. I really love getting to be here for these chatty live streams. They're so much fun. I will be streaming tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, just doing creativity sprints. I also stream on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern for writing sprints. So definitely catch me there. Oh, and then Says letting you know I got a story on my blog and Wattpad called Penelope's Curve. It's a horror short story. It's a contemporary paranormal horror short story. No, I'm just playing. But yeah,
Don't do that.
you should go check it out if you want to read something good. It's like less than 6,000 words, so it won't take you too long.
I'm sitting over here like, wait, I thought it was just horror. Don't do that to me. Don't give me all these extra titles. Stop doing that. Just say what it is.
Also, I do stream later today at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. my time with Becca C. Smith. So check her channel for that.
And I am the Naked Firefly. And I don't know why I just had a brain. Okay, I am the Naked Firefly. I have my own channel on YouTube, Naked Firefly. I'm also author of The Healer's Love, Contemporary Romance. If you don't have a copy, go ahead and get that now. And an ebook or in paperback or hardcover. I feel like there's something else I'm missing. I don't know. I don't stream anymore. I guess stream now.
Patreon.
Oh, and on my Patreon, yes. Okay, don't forget to sign up for my Patreon because I do have a serial that I've started. And yeah, we're doing that. And I know that I have 2 of my patrons on Screen with Me, and I appreciate them for their patronage. Yes, I do. And then yes. And then also, I think that's it. Is that it? Is that it right now? That's it right now. I have nothing else right now. My brain just, I'm done. I promise.
All right. What's up? Sorry, I don't know what I just did. And then I'm holding a lighter. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sense of Pack. My name is Sense of Pack. Don't know why you didn't know my name. This is my lovely channel. I like to say for every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern to 10 a.m. Eastern. I normally do a writer's right, where we just talk about what it's like to be a writer with certain topics. I like to thank my co-hosts who wake up early and who stay up. They're up the whole entire day. They are both busy women, so thank you guys so much. I said it before, the lovely Shay with the Hobbies has Penelope's Curve out on Wattpad. Check the description link below. And the Naked Firefly has The Healer's Love. Again, check the thing below. I also do live streams. I will be doing one out of my schedule. I'll be going on Wednesday, and I will be bringing back my Friday streaming time, and you can probably catch me on other people's channels. I don't know. So without further ado, we're just going to wave and say goodbye. So bye.